guys, what's going on? It's Andrew here with AW Media again, and this is my dashiki. Today we're going to be talking about the Mototech 72 Volt Pro 5,000 watt dirt bike. Thing shreds. Love everything about it. Now this, if I could say that this was the ideal dirt bike for anybody, I would say that this is the ideal dirt bike for somebody who wants to have fun within their neighborhood, because this is within my neighborhood. Kind of ducked off from everybody really, but you can see some of the houses up there. But this is within my neighborhood, and the main thing about this is it's fast, it's fun, and it's quiet. Doesn't bother anybody, and I know you're probably thinking like, screw what your neighbors think, but when you live here for a long time, or you live in an area for a long time, you know, kind of learn not to piss off your neighbors. But it is the most fun I've had. If I could say it feels like anything, I would say it feels very close to an 85, like a stock 85, a very stock 85, or a very souped up 65, or even a 110, but just with a little bit more power. Honestly, it's amazing. Now, one thing I do want to talk about are some of the pros and cons that I've gone through since I've owned this bike, and I've had it for about a month now. So I'm just gonna go through the pros first, and I'm gonna go through the cons. The pros are, it's quiet. You're not gonna piss off your neighbors. You're not gonna make anybody upset. Another pro, it does charge in 4 hours, whereas a lot of the bikes on the market take a little bit longer to charge. So for me, 4 hours is not that long of a time. That's when you're on it. Yeah, I would say it's good for at least one riding session. Like if you're really riding, and I ride it kind of hard, so it's yeah, even like out here for a solid 30 minutes, you know, kind of going around and around. It I normally am left with about half a tank, which is really one thing that's really cool about this bike, is it does show you right here where your battery indicator is, and you shut it off from here. Lets you know your battery, and I went out riding yesterday, and I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So imagine I was out here for about 30-45 minutes, like consistently on about 2 or 3, and it left me with half a battery. So that's pretty good for me. If it's somebody that's going to be on it all day, I can't see you doing something like this all day. But what I would recommend, what I could say now, is that I would throw it on the charger for maybe 2 hours, and it'll charge back up to full, and I should be able to ride for the remainder of the day. So it's, as far as battery life goes, if anybody's wondering, you know, am I going to have enough time to ride? Yes, you're going to have plenty of time to ride. Absolutely. I can't see you going through or depleting a battery unless you forget to charge it overnight and you go to ride again tomorrow. Then I could definitely see it dying on you. So that's another pro. Another pro would be speed. Now, this bike is advertised at 50, but here's the thing. When you're riding out here like this, you're rarely gonna really touch 50 unless you're flat trail or on the road. Riding out here, even when I'm riding out here, I keep it at 2, just because even at 3 it kind of gets a little crazy, and there's no need to go crazy. I don't think that this is what this bike is really designed for. I was talking to the guys over at Bomb Moto, because Bomb Moto also makes a variant of this. It's just not complete, and they were telling me the same thing, that these bikes are really toys. But I could see, you know, just upgrading some parts, which we're going to get into here in the future, as I did buy some upgrades, and I have done upgrades, a single upgrade on this since I've owned it, but that was due to a part failure, which we're going to get into for cons. Now, there's more pros. We'll leave them for the next video, but we're going to get into cons. Cons of this bike. It is Chinese. Some of the parts are going to break very easily. I'll give you an example. I was riding pretty hard, and I think probably right here, I was going about 30, came through, made that right there, and carved in. When I carved it in, it bottomed out a little bit, but just because of that, it destroyed the strut. So I went ahead and replaced the strut with a DNM shock. Haven't had any issues since. Kind of dialed it in, especially with the response rate. So that's pretty good. I'm very happy with that. Maybe time to tighten the chain up a little bit. Yeah. And grease it. So I would say one of the biggest cons again would be Chinese parts. I'm not sure what's gonna break next, but I definitely know something's coming. Something's absolutely coming. Another con, but it's not a con for long. Upgraded parts. I could not, there's so many. I would upgrade this thing to the T if I could, with some name brand parts or just proper parts, like some Tusk wheels, you know, some, I know you could do tires, but Tusk wheels, maybe strut upgrade, you know, whatever I could for rigidity, because that's my biggest fear with this thing is rigidity. It's not so much that I just, and honestly, like they said, it's a toy. So even looking at some of the welds there, even though it's an upgraded like shock, the mounting point up there is still pretty weak, and so is the mounting point back here. Even though it is steel here, I'm gonna show you, that's another upgrade that I do have sitting, waiting to be done. That's the upgrade for the swing arm by Bamoto, the B2 swing arm, which is aluminum. The mounts are way stronger, so I trust that a lot more, but I figure I'd rock this until it kind of gives. But then again, we're playing crazy games here, so I really don't want to play that game. But other than that, it's been holding up pretty good so far. Let me know what you guys would like to see as far as content from this bike. I do have 3 other bikes that I'm going to be doing content on. I have the Mototech 60 volt 2000 watt, which is pretty fun too, but is a big difference compared to this one, so you probably do want to see that difference. And then for the children, I do have a Highboy DK1 and the Razor MX 125 with an upgraded battery pack, so we'll be looking at some of those bikes here soon. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all so much for following along. Again, my name is Andrew with AW Media. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is my dashiki. We'll see you guys next time.